Job costing for profit. My friends, listen, I'm going to share with you how to make more money on your next job by simply implementing what is called job costing. Before we get into it, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe now. Let's dig in. Let's go. All right, fighters. First and foremost, what is job costing? I'm amazed at the number of conversations that I have with contractors that don't know what it is. They don't do it. Job costing is nothing more than keeping score on the projects that you do. How did you do on the job? You're keeping score. You're doing an after action report or a debrief of the project. Today is going to be a little bit unique here because I'm actually going to share my screen and give you a link later to a resource that you can grab to implement job costing immediately in your business. If you implement this, you will make more money on your very next project and everyone going forward. To me, there are two types of job costing, and I'm going to share both of them with you on this sheet. You're going to be able to download this thing and go grab it. First, there is pre-job costing. Before you do a job, imagine this. Imagine if before you set foot on someone's property, you knew before the job started how much money within a couple percentage points you were actually going to make on the job. That is, to me, pre-job costing. You are pre-planning the job. Guys, if you want profit, you must plan for it. The second aspect of job costing, post-job costing. After you pre-planned it, this is how we think it's going to go. We plan for the profit, you get on the other end, and you enter in some more data of how you did on the job, and the numbers will tell you the true story about how you did on the job. So I'm going to dig in now. Don't go away. I'm going to share my screen and give you a link to grab this tool. Let's go. All right, so you guys, after you download this, you're going to see this job costing sheet in front of you, and I want to draw your attention to the green cells. The green cells are the ones that you enter stuff in. On the left side of this sheet is the pre-job costing that you're going to do before you do a job. So when you put some numbers to a project on your 2x4 piece of scrap wood or a notepad or whatever, take it and plug it into this. You're going to start first with the job name. You know, it's the Smith job. Tom is the foreman. If you have different foremen, you know who's going to run the job. And then you're going to put the names of the employees that are working on the project. So let's say we got Tom and we got Logan, my video guy. He's here. And say this job, you guys, is going to be 2 guys for the week. These 2 guys, Tom and Logan, for the week. So that's 40 hours on site, okay, doing stuff. And Tom makes 30 an hour and Logan makes 25 an hour. All right, you're going to plug that in. Now you can see at the top, I have a labor burden of 0.4. 40% of your labor is going towards the labor burden, meaning you got to pay taxes and work comp and all that other stuff. You know, the guy who's 30 bucks an hour, I mean, if I plug myself in here at 30 bucks an hour, it's really costing the company 42 when you add the labor burden. A lot of you guys are screwing the pooch and not making money because you don't understand this, which is why the contractor fight exists, to help you quit stealing from your family. Now I'm going to come down. Let's say it's a 6-day job. So it's a 48-hour job and you're going to go into Saturday. And if you have to pay time and a half, simply come down here under overtime. You see it auto-populates the names and their rates. It already made me 45 an hour at time and a half. So if it's going to be 8 hours overtime, 8 hours overtime, now I have accounted for the additional labor costs. So let's just get out of there since I covered that. Now you're going to come down to materials. You know, I'm not going to itemize materials. Let's say all in, all your materials are going to be $4,000. What you have to pay your vendor. So right now, we know this job right now is costing me $7,080 to do if everything goes as planned. So I'm pre-job costing this job. To simply get a 50% gross profit on your work, which we talk about, you're going to put a number 2. You're going to double your costs, double your labor, double your material. If I sell this project for $14,160 and we bring it in on time, I will have a 50% gross profit, which means I will have $7,080 left after the job. This is the job costing. The other thing is you got to take into consideration risks. Is there travel time? And if there's going to be 2 hours of travel every day for each one of us, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours. So that's another 10 hours down here that I would just put into overtime for each guy. There's 20 man hours. So I will account for my travel time. If you want to profit, you have to plan for profit. That's why so many contractors are struggling. Now the job is getting ready to start. Guys, this is what it means to manage a project. If your foremen aren't doing these things, you don't have a foreman. You have a high-paid laborer because you're doing all the thinking, you're doing all the managing, and you're running yourself ragged. At the end of the job, you go to the right side. What you're going to do here, at the end of the job, I'm going to plug in, okay, I worked 42 hours. I had 40 hours for Tom, and he had 2 hours on Saturday because he had to go back and clean some things up and do a walkthrough or whatever it might be, right? I'm just plugging numbers in. And then Logan was exactly 40 hours, and say our materials came in at $38.50. Plug that in. Up at the top, you'll see that instead of a 50% gross profit, we had a 50.2. We actually made $24 more on this job. Why? Because I had the 2 hours of overtime. If I take the 2 hours of overtime out, I made a 51.1% gross profit and an extra $150. You see how this works? If you are not keeping score, you don't know what to work on. When you get done with this right side of the sheet and you recap the job, let's say the job was, hey, we each had 40 hours of this, but we had another day. We had a full day of overtime. Maybe we were under on materials, way over on labor. Now we had a 44% gross profit instead of the planned 50. We had $774 less in gross profit than what we planned on. So you want to take a step back and go, okay, why? Why didn't we hit the target? Could we have planned something better? Was there an unforeseen condition that we can just chalk up to experience now? We can account for it on the next projects that we price. Maybe you hit all the hours, but maybe you totally blew out the materials. I used to do that all the time in the early days. I was terrible at estimating materials. I was usually spot on with the math of the man hours to do things. So there's always going to be adjustments that you're going to make. There is another video that goes along with this that explains this deeper for you guys. But I want to encourage you right now, implement this immediately. Right now, go to the link. Okay, it's thecontractorfight.com/job cost. Grab the sheet, download it, watch the video, and start using it. I promise you, you will make more money immediately. Grab the sheet. I appreciate you being part of the fight. You guys rock. I got to roll. I'm out. Fighters, I want to invite you to go to milehighprofitsummit.com and check out the lineup we have for you at Mile High Profit Summit this year in Denver, Colorado. I'm super excited because not only are we bringing you the theme of Sell Unafraid, we're also unlocking breakout sessions for the first time, and we're going to dig into the numbers. We're going to dig into attracting higher quality leads. We're going to dig in how to sell using simple tools that are out there for you so that you can walk home with higher profits and a better quality of life. Go to milehighprofitsummit.com and come join us and hang out, and let's get real this year and change your life, change your business. I'm out.